Shalom Akim, Wagwathiam. First and foremost, I like to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash. I like to proceed this lesson with giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well and teach well, man. Without further ado, I'm going to a dream I had. It was yesterday. 2 days ago or yesterday. But it was a dream about what you see here on this screen, man. I was in this dream. I'll just go into it. I was at my grandma's house and I was with all my cousins and stuff, and we're talking about the truth, man. I was going into the truth with them, and I was just saying that we're not supposed to be speaking this language. I'm gonna just get straight to the point. We're kind of arguing about the name of the Lord and stuff. How we're not supposed to be calling on so-called on Jesus, on so-called Jesus, but his as we know, his name is Yahweh Shai in the Lashon Kodash, man. Jesus is a name that the Edomites give the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, man. We know J's didn't come in until about the 1600s. But I was telling him, like, Yahweh Shai is his name, man. It's supposed to be uttered in the Paleo Hebrew, which is the Lashon Kodash. And I have this cousin, she sighed, she's like, she's like, oh, my Bible says that. And then it was just getting straight to the point, just to show that Jake is eventually gonna wake up, but hey, some are eventually gonna be designated to not wake up, man. It's designated for judgment, but nonetheless, as soon as like that happened, she said, oh, my Bible says that. I heard, like, I seen lights coming from like a distance, and I looked out the window, all the blinds were open, and in the distance, it was like a gang, like shit, hundreds of drones, man, with the green light. It was like with a green light, with the camera on it in a red, man, showing that it was recording, man, looking for things kind of like this, man. I'm gonna just read this real quick. It says, AI controlled drones are being tested to search for targets on their own. And in this dream, that's the spirit. This had just popped up right now, man. I was just telling the brothers about my dream. So, hey, this is just, it was just, it was just in my spirit to, man, just get into this, man. Because, hey, we're about to see these things coming through, man. Knowing Esau, Edom, the so-called white man wants to make this a so-called, he wants to make this, no, not so-called, he wants to make it a surveillance state, man, a police state, totalitarian government, man, to which he sees everything, he wants to, like, know where everyone's at, keep things, keep things on lockdown, only for his purpose, man, which is, his digital, his social credit system, man, to get people C-hip, man, and if you don't partake, or if you don't have that C-hip, then you will be killed, man. That's why he may use these drones to look for targets that are not, have that C-hip, man. And I'm gonna just play these real quick. Hey, just imagine seeing, hundreds or thousands of these in the sky, man. They're gonna be searching for, people who don't have that C-hip. They're gonna be searching for people that, trying to go against the government, during the civil unrest, man. Because, hey, we know that civil unrest, civil war, these race wars is coming to America, aka Babylon the Great. Hey, the prophets, the elders and apostles, starting from, from Apostle Har, at GMS, from the brothers, at GMS, you know, Apostle Har, Apostle Rakar, Apostle Gabar, and Apostle Ramlab on down with the brothers at GMS that have been telling you these things, man. The real prophets of the Bible, man. You know, the visionaries, man. You know, the brothers, you know, the elders and brothers that are telling you of the vision that's coming, man. You know, the seers, man. You know, we're telling you, you know, starting with them, they're telling you of what's coming, man. You know, before things come through, man. You know, and when you see these things, hey, ye shall know that a prophet has been among you. You know, I got some scriptures though, you know, to, you know, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And this is going in the Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know, he's gonna try to sell you a smooth thing, man. You know, hey, come take this sea hit, man. You know, and we'll give you food, water, and shelter, man. But hey, you know, ultimately, he's gonna want you in his death camps, man. That's what it is, man. These FEMA camps. You know, you're gonna want to be able to do something else, but he's gonna limit you to resources. He's gonna limit you to what you want to do, man. He's gonna give you what he wants to give you, man, not what you want. And that's what a lot of people are gonna fail to realize until they're in that situation, man. Until it's too late. It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11, and it reads, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, we are not ignorant of his devices." You know, when this is going to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know, we are not ignorant of his devices, man. You know, this he hit, you know, his drones, like you see in this video right here. You know, his drones. Man, hey, things about to get wicked out here, man. You know, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 17. "And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh, and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach," man. You know, this is the elect, you know, the prophets, man, the elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. You know, and the dragon's going into Esau, Edom, you know, making war with the woman, which is the elect, man, of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with your so-called Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know, I just wanted to get into that real quick, man, because these things are coming to Babylon, man. You know, prepare your mind, you know, meditate on death, you know, meditate on these things to come, man, because this is, you know, soon to come, man, and we see these things coming, man. You know, Israel just broke that ceasefire, man, you know, striking South Lebanon. You know, so, hey, when they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come upon, man. You know, so, hey, get ready for this civil war, you know, to see things, you know, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, a time like never before, man. You know, I hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKakodash, Shalom, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Brakatham, Abba, Abba.